Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me today to discover what accounting software is right for me, or for you in this particular example. So with so many options on the market, we can understand that it can be a hard decision to make which accounting software to choose. And we know it's a big decision too, because it's one of those decisions that we'd like to get right straight off the bat if we can. Now, when we're choosing our accounting software, of course, we need to take a few things into consideration. So we want to consider our budget, we want to consider how much time it's going to take us to set up this particular software, and we want software that's not only going to make us happy, but it's going to make the ATO happy too. Typically, there are three types of people that can benefit from the information that I'm going to share with you today. So the first is those of you who are just starting out in business and you're choosing your software for the very first time. Then there's those of you who might have been in business for a little while and you've been using an Excel spreadsheet or perhaps a notepad to keep track of your transactions and you're ready to move to a more computerized system. And then finally, there's those of you who actually already have an accounting software program in place, but perhaps you've discovered that it's not quite the right fit for you and you want to discover what else is out there on the market. So here's what I'm going to share with you today. I'd like to talk to you about the pros and cons of the big four accounting software programs that are on the market today. So we're going to be talking about Reckon Accounts, MYOB, QuickBooks Online, and XERO. And then once we've spoken about them, I'm going to give you my pick of which one I think is the best out of those four. And if you hang around to the end, we even have a free gift for you. So who am I to be talking on this topic in the first place? Well, the first thing you need to know about me is that I absolutely love small business. I love everything about small business. I love small business owners. I love small business software. I love the visions, the missions, the processes. I just love it all. And it was in my genetics because my parents owned a number of businesses as I grew up, so I was just destined to join them at some stage. Now, my bookkeeping career started way back in university when I was taught to do accounting and bookkeeping with good old pen and paper. And then from there, I advanced to Excel, ooh la la. And then from Excel, we went to desktop accounting. So this was before cloud accounting came into play. And we had desktop accounting. And then finally, we moved to the cloud accounting, which is what we see most accounting software packages on today. And cloud accounting allows business owners like yourself, like myself, to connect with our bookkeeping and our financial information from anywhere in the world at any time, as long as we have a reliable internet connection, which is absolutely genius. So the first accounting software that I'd like to talk to you about is Reckon. Now, Reckon's story started in Australia back in 1987, and now it employs over 300 people in their operations across the world. So I guess with 300 people inside your operations, you might have some complex payroll, which is great for Reckon because that's definitely something that they specialize in. So Reckon's payroll can handle quite complex payroll situations, such as salary sacrifice, reportable fringe benefits taxes, allowances, bonuses, commission systems, all that type of stuff. And of course, it can also handle the more basic payroll systems as well. Another thing we really love about Reckon is if you don't have such a reliable internet connection, then you can use their Reckon Enterprise version offline. Now, one thing I will say with using accounting software offline is that a couple of years back, the government said that we needed to report to them on single touch payroll, or STP. Now, when STP came into play, the ATO mandated that all business owners must report the single touch payroll, which is basically all our payroll information about our employees. We had to report that via our accounting software. So they don't have any paper formats available for us to submit that information on. So if you live somewhere that doesn't have a reliable internet connection, then you're still going to have to take your laptop on a trip to town with you at least every quarter, just so you can submit your STP or single touch payroll information to the ATO. The next thing we love about Reckon is if you're a retailer or if you're in the manufacturing space, they have a fantastic point of sale system or a POS system. The other thing that they do really well is they have something called inventory assembly. So what inventory assembly is if I make things, such for example, if I make desks, then I have to contact suppliers and get myself some wood, I might need some screws, and I might need some lengths of steel. Once those items come in, I make my desk, I sell that to the consumer, and voila. What Reckon does very well is it actually can handle all those transactions coming in of all those individual items. It understands that I use X amount of those individual items to make one bigger item, and I sell that bigger item onto my consumers. And it's able to track all of that through the inventory control. And it's also quite good because it can actually tell you if you start running low on a particular item as well and give you a warning about that, which is great. Now let's talk about the not so pretty side of Reckon, and I will do this with all the software just to be fair, but Reckon in particular has a bit of a reputation for being slow. So that means, if you've got an internet connection with Reckon, that the internet connection in Reckon can be quite slow, but it's also slow to keep up with the features and the offerings of other accounting software programs on the market. Now one thing I must say is that Reckon's definitely proved me wrong. Probably about 2 years ago, I had predicted that Reckon wouldn't be with us today because they just weren't keeping pace with their competitors. However, they are still here, so kudos to them for that. The other thing that consumers say about Reckon is that it's not very pretty compared to the other software that's on the market. So this example on the screen is of Reckon Enterprise or Reckon Accounts Hosted Enterprise version. And my brain actually quite likes the logical layout of this dashboard, but I do understand others don't quite like it. So I'll leave that up to you to decide, if it's pretty or not. Then Reckon also have an app that's built for small business owners, and it's called Reckon One. Now this is the dashboard of that particular app, and as you can see, it's a much more modern look. However, consumers still do feel that it's probably not as spunky as some of the other options on the market. Again, I'll leave that up to you to decide. So when it comes to the pricing of Reckon One, which is the program that's built more in line with the small business owners, those prices range from $8 up to $28 per month. And the good thing with Reckon is you can turn on and off features as you need them. So for example, if you need to track time, to do time tracking this particular month, you can turn that feature on for somewhere between $4 to $6, use that particular feature this month, and then turn it off next month and save yourself a pretty penny. And you can do that with lots of different features inside the Reckon One platform. Then they have their big daddy, which is the Reckon Enterprise version or Reckon Accounts Hosted. Now that's more suitable for medium to big businesses or businesses that have quite complex transactions. And again, you'll land that one for $740 per year or $67 per month. Next, let's talk about MYOB. So MYOB stands for Mind Your Own Business, and their business tagline is Simplify Success. And don't we all want that? So here's a few things that we love about MYOB. So MYOB has the capacity to grow with your business, and I mean grow big. So MYOB and Reckon that we just had a look at are the two main players. If you have complex accounting systems or complex transactions within your business, then they're the two that you want to have a look at. Now with MYOB, if you're planning on going global and you're planning on building a big empire and you don't want to switch accounting software anytime throughout that process, then they're definitely one to consider. Another feature that a lot of MYOB users love is what they call their in-tray. So the in-tray is where you can email a bill that you receive, say via email. You can email that into your MYOB program, or you can drag and drop it into your in-tray, or you can upload it into your MYOB in-tray. And then from there, you can actually convert that into a bill or perhaps a spend money transaction. And then that PDF or that image that you've uploaded will actually stay with that transaction inside MYOB as a digital copy, so you don't need to keep that paper copy anymore. Now, there are other accounting softwares that have similar features as well to this. However, MYOB's is probably a little bit more advanced, and their optical recognition is probably of a little bit of a higher quality. So what optical recognition will do is when you send that PDF into your in-tray, MYOB will do its best to actually read all the information on that bill. So it'll try and read the date, who the supplier is, what the items were, how much the GST was, etc. And it will already pre-populate that onto a bill for you, so to save you some data entry, which of course is fantastic. The next thing we love with MYOB is their time billing. So this is an excellent feature for those businesses out there who bill by the hour. So an example of that could be an accountant or a lawyer or perhaps an interior designer. You can actually bill all of your clients by the hour quite accurately, and also you can have different billing rates for different employees too. So if you have a senior person in your business and a junior person in your business, you could actually bill both of those two people out at different rates if you wanted to, and they can be combined onto the one invoice for your client, which is quite handy. Okay, now on the not so pretty side of MYOB. So for some reason, if you need to make a change in a transaction that was part of a previous BAS period, unfortunately MYOB won't bring that adjustment into the current BAS period. So you will be forced to check some extra reports at BAS time to make sure that you're paying the correct amount of GST to the ATO. The next thing that's great and not so great about MYOB is that it does have apps that can help you. So you can put apps on your mobile phone to assist you with MYOB while you're out and about. So they've got an app called MYOB Capture, which is capturing receipts. Let's say you go down to the fuel service station, put fuel in your car, you can capture the receipt straight away, throw the receipt in the bin and send that receipt on into MYOB for processing. The next one they have is their MYOB Teams app, where team members can jump on in and do their timesheets and download payslips, etc. And then they have their MYOB Invoice app. So that's if you want to invoice your customers on the fly as well. Now the downside to this is there's 3 apps instead of 1. I would much rather see one app. However, for the moment, each of these apps just has a single purpose. So definitely something that I'd like to see improved in the future. And another point is quite a few consumers say that the MYOB Teams app is a little bit clunky as well. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so on to pricing. So at the moment, they have 50% off for 3 months. So you can get your hands on MYOB from anywhere between $13.50 and $75 per month, depending on your requirements. Now we have Intuit Quickbooks. So Intuit Quickbooks actually broke away from Reckon Accounts back in 2014. So prior to 2014, Intuit Quickbooks actually gave or allowed Reckon Accounts to use their software and their name. And then in 2014, they went down their separate paths. And since then, Intuit Quickbooks has sort of kept up pace with the front runners when it comes to the features and the offerings with cloud accounting. So they're doing really well in the market today. And the absolute best thing that we love about QuickBooks Online is that it has great functionality for a really affordable price. So as you can see at the moment for their Plus package, which is their granddaddy package, for their Plus package, they've got a special on at the moment of 70% off for 3 months. So you can get it for $15.60 a month for the first 3 months, and then it will revert to $52 a month. Now, ProfitAbility Virtual Assistance are a partner with QuickBooks Online. We're actually a partner with all 4 of these programs that I'm talking about today. However, QuickBooks Online in particular do allow us to on-sell their accounting files for $28.50 per month. So if you do the math, by the time you get to month 4, you're gone from $15.60 for the first 3 months, then you go straight to $52 a month. However, on the ones that we can set up for you for the $28.50 a month, you will break even by within 3.5 months. You'll actually be making more money. So just something to consider, and we're more than happy to help you out if you're interested in that. Now, another thing that QuickBooks Online do really well is their employee portal. So their employee portal is fairly easy to set up. It's got an employee wizard that you can follow, and they try and keep it as simple as possible, and it's a bit of a set and forget. So once you've set it up the first time, you can usually forget about it from there on, other than adding in new employees. You can also invite your employees into the QuickBooks self-service employee portal so that they can complete their own timesheets and download their past payslips and apply for leave and all that type of stuff through their own portal. When they access that portal, they can't see anything else inside your business other than the information that surrounds them. Another great feature of QuickBooks Online is their reporting. So you can pull out a plethora of reports out of QuickBooks Online. And the thing I love the best about it is you can actually pre-schedule these reports as well. So for example, we have quite a few clients that want reports sent to them on a regular basis. So for example, they want a report to know how much GST they owe because of the last week, or how much PAYG they owe in the last week. And so it can be set up so those reports are automatically scheduled and sent to their inbox every week, so they know exactly how much GST they need to pay or how much PAYG they need to pay. Really, really cool feature. And another awesome feature of QuickBooks Online that none of the others offer is that you can actually talk to a real human for support. So they do have a 1300 number, and you can speak to a human and ask them any questions about any issues you might be having in the software. And that human can remote into your accounting software if you allow them to. If you do allow them to do that, they can't click on anything, they can't touch anything on your computer, they can simply view it, and they can tell you where to click in order to fix whatever issues you might be having at the time. So for some people, that is a really important feature. They really do want to talk to a human when things go pear-shaped. Okay, now on the flip side, with QuickBooks Online, their invoicing is kind of basic. So the invoicing is fine, it's just the customization of that invoice that's kind of basic. So you can pick from a handful of colors to try and match it as close as possible to your branding. You can also choose if you want your logo to be in the middle, the left, the right. In the different sections of your invoice, you can choose what kind of information displays, but you don't have 100% customization over those invoices at all. So you are a little bit limited in that area. Now, when it comes to price, you can get your hands on QuickBooks from anywhere between $4.50 and $52 a month. As I mentioned, we also have the offer through ProfitAbility Virtual Assistance where you can get a QuickBooks file for $28.50 per month. And something else I want to point out while we're here is you can see on the screen we've got a QuickBooks Self-Employed app there, which is that little bubba one for $4.50. Now, one thing to bear in mind with that is it is excellent. It's an excellent alternative to Excel and a notebook. I would definitely recommend it over Excel and a notebook. It can track kilometers, it can send invoices, and it can sort your billing and stuff as well. However, you can't invite your accountant into it, you can't invite your bookkeeper into it, and when you outgrow that program, unfortunately you can't transfer that data out of that app either, or that program, into another program at all. So just something to bear in mind if you do want to go down that pathway. All right, now let's talk about XERO. So XERO is the youngest software on the market. It started back in 2006 with two self-confessed software nerds over in New Zealand. And today QuickBooks has over 2.7 million subscribers and 3,500 employees in their company. Now, one thing I will say about XERO subscribers is that they are loyal. So in the 6 years that we've been in business, not once have we been asked to transfer anyone out of XERO to another accounting software package, and I can't say that about the other three. So in my opinion, Xero is definitely the front runner when it comes to cloud accounting software. They have over 1,000 apps that can integrate into Xero. So what that means is if you've got a customer relationship management system, a time tracking system, a Stripe account, you can actually integrate all of that with your Xero file. So you've got everything coming out of one central location. And of course, the more seamless we can integrate all the different programs we use inside our business, the better it is for business. Now, also, my opinion is Xero is one of the most helpful accounting software programs on the market as well. Now with Xero, you can't speak to a human, as I mentioned before. So you can't speak to a human. However, when you open Xero, they have Xero tips on every single page, which will teach you how to do whatever is necessary for that particular page inside Xero. They also have Xero Help, which is a little question mark icon in the corner, and you can ask that questions like you would in Google, and it will give you back a number of articles that will step you through whatever it is you need to do. They also have Xero Central. So Xero Central is like a Wikipedia for Xero. Again, you can ask anything you like and it will give you a number of articles to match. They have Xero TV, which is their YouTube channel, and it's fantastic. It's got lots of how-to videos on that YouTube channel, and you can like watch the video, pause, do the task, watch more video, pause, do the task. So that's really helpful. And then finally, they do have a support team. So they've got Xero support where you can reach out to a human via the actual platform itself. You won't be able to pick up the phone and speak with them, but they will talk to you via text or email. Also, Xero has one of the most comprehensive all-in-one mobile apps. So it's called Xero Touch, and inside Xero Touch, you're able to clear your bank feeds. You can complete quotes while you're out on site on a job. While you're on site, you could also send off that invoice to the client if you wanted to, and you can generate reports on the fly as well if you needed to know some financial information about your business. Now, the only thing you can't do on the Xero Touch app is you can't process payroll. You have to do that from a desktop. However, your employees can download an app called Xero Me, and through the Xero Me app, they can submit their timesheets and access past pay slips and all that type of stuff as well. Next, we have one of Xero's best and worst features all in one, and that is their bank feed. So with Xero, you can connect Xero to all of your business bank accounts, and the transactions will flow into Xero in almost real time. Now, what Xero will do then is it will do its best to match the transactions that come in from the bank with the transactions that you already have in your Xero file. And it does a pretty good job at this. However, in other accounting software programs, what normally happens is you have your bank feed and then you do bank reconciliations. In Xero, they have a feature called One Ledger. So One Ledger means that when you mark that transaction off your bank feed, it is reconciled at exactly the same time, which is fantastic, except for when things go pear-shaped. So that's why I say it's probably part of their worst features as well. So when things go pear-shaped, when you're reconciling your bank feed, they can be a little bit more challenging to correct. So again, just something to keep in mind there. Next with Xero, something that I would love to see an improvement with is their reporting. Now they do have a plethora of reports and they've got some fantastic reports in there for small business owners. However, what I would love to see changed is just their dates. It can be a little bit more challenging to select specific date periods if you are looking for date periods on your report. So yeah, that can be a little bit clunky with their reporting. So you can get Xero at the moment for 50% off for the first 3 months, and that means it's going to range between $13.50 and $76, depending on your needs and the number of people that you have in your payroll. Okay, so what accounting software would we choose? So if I had my choice, I would probably choose Intuit Quickbooks. Now, the reason I would choose that, in my humble opinion, it suits most small business owners. It has all the features and functionalities that we all love out of XERO. It's definitely more efficient than Reckon and MYOB. And for the price, it is great value for money. So that is definitely my pick. And then in a close second, I would put XERO. And the reason XERO comes in as a close second is you just can't argue with the fact that their subscribers love the platform. They love the program, they love the support. So it's definitely up there for the fans. Okay, so there's much more that I could tell you about each of these accounting software programs. However, if you would like to talk to me about your specific situation and which platform or accounting software is right for you, please feel free to book a free strategy session with me. More than happy to give you 60 minutes of my time for free to talk about what accounting software would be right for you. So head on over to our website and/or Google ProfitAbility Virtual Assistance and go and register yourself for a bookkeeping strategy session. Now, I don't expect you to remember everything that we went through today or all those prices. So also over on our website, you can find our guide for what accounting software is right for me. So again, feel free to head over to the website and grab that guide. If you can't find it for any reason, please feel free to contact us with your email address and we'll email that out to you. So I hope our time today was insightful and that you now have a better idea about which accounting software is right for you. If you know someone who could benefit from this information, please feel free to share this with them. And feel free to go and download that guide from our website as well. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Thanks so much.